Okay, we've come to the park. It's quite a popular little walk here, but we haven't been out at all virtually for quite some time, have we, love?
Yeah.
So thought try and get some exercise up here at the park and see how we get on. Anne-Marie's feeling a little bit better. She's still got a few appointments and things to get sorted. Right, this park, for those of you who aren't from the area, is called Wepre Park or Wepre Woods. Flintshire County Council look after the place. It used to be a private park, really. It was owned by the Freem family. Where those cars are in the distance there, where you can see the headlights coming, there's a lodge, privately owned now, and that used to be the lodge that led into the park. This road where the cars are driving along here was like the entrance, really. These houses didn't exist, and up over the playground into the distance a little was a place called Wepre Hall. The council bought Wepre Hall in 1943, I think it was, and then by the 50s it was starting to get run down. Didn't take them long, did it? And then by the 60s it was actually pulled down. So within 20 years of buying it, it was demolished. And since then it's become a sort of just a woods where people used to come and play. Now, when I was a kid, it was very overgrown. There wasn't quite as many people as there are nowadays, was there? It was quite... local people used to come here, don't get me wrong, but you didn't have fancy paths or anything. It was more mud to slide down and things like that. And then in more recent years, it's been made a bit more family friendly and a bit more access friendly, so people in wheelchairs and that can get around here a bit easier. No one in a wheelchair would have come here 30 years ago or gone much further than the where the visitors centre is now, where the hall once stood, because it was just nightmare terrain in certain areas. Getting up to the castle would have been impossible, getting to the waterfall would have been a challenge. But in recent years they've made it a lot more accessible for people. I thought we'd come out today, have a little bit of a wander, and try out me I can't say it, DJI Pocket 3 again. It's like the second time it's been out in like 2 months. Anne-Marie was extremely poorly, so we weren't able to go anywhere, and she's only just really getting back on her feet. Not going to go too far, are we, love? We'll try and keep to the flat bits as much as possible. We're going to go and have a look at the waterfall and see what's about. Watch out for the slippy leaves. There's still a few birds and what have you about. I can see some rustling there. I think there's a squirrel. Squirrels mustn't hibernate. I thought squirrels hibernated, but they mustn't do. I know they bury their nuts. Maybe that's why they don't hibernate, because they come out and get them when they need them in the winter. There's certainly some rustling going on over there. I'm sure I saw something fluffy. Yeah, there he goes up the tree. Fur, not feathers, kind of give it away. This was one of the early areas that I recall getting done up, so to speak, by the council. Because I remember in the early 80s, this bit here, which people call the Dell, had this bridge installed. And I think can't recall if there was a little, a drive or whatever. What do you call the thing that goes through the water that cars drive through? My brain doesn't remember the word anymore. But to the side of the bridge there's a place where the cars drive through. I can't remember if that was there. It may have been, but the bridge definitely was. So I remember playing on it. I mean, that's probably like the third iteration of the bridge now. But yeah, they put that in. A weir, is that it? Is that the word? That thing there. What's that, Anne-Marie? A Ford. Thank you very much. I'm not going to play in the water. I'll leave you to it. Trying to get Anne-Marie out a little bit because she's got a lot of fluid on her lungs and she's been stuck in a great deal and coughing and not being too good. So I know it's a bit cold, but I'm trying to get some oxygen, bit of fresh air. And it is quite fresh today, look at that. I think I've missed most of the the golden leaves. We were too busy getting Anne-Marie sorted at the time. She was a bit poorly. This hasn't frozen up yet. The wooden bridge is frozen up, and the grass is frozen up, but the brook isn't yet frozen. But it's running water, isn't it? So probably be a bit longer until that freezes up. Sorry, I'm just looking at it. Anne-Marie was stood in the water. I'm like, crikey love, it's about minus three. If you cross this bridge, by the way, and you head off into the woods here, it's only a short walk, to be fair. But up one of these paths, I think it's this first one here on the right, if you head down there, eventually it leads to Killings Lane in Shotton, and if you follow the path after you come out of the woods and head down to the lane itself, if you turn left you end up coming out on Wepre Drive in Connah, and if you turn right you head off up Killings Lane and come to Killings Farm in Shotton Lane, heading up towards Aston and what have you. This is the route, when I used to live in Shotton, this is the route I used to come to the woods to come and play, and I used to play quite a lot down here in the water, skipping stones and making boats out of twigs and things, you know, as you do. A frozen puddle full of paw prints. See all the paw prints? Do they show up? There's a paw print there. Yeah, I got a glove on that hand, but on this hand, no glove. So it's going to get cold. You have to fiddle about with the screen sometimes on this, though it does seem to be behaving. It doesn't seem to be too bad. Oh, I went to college last night and I was getting the lift back home and foolishly decided to sit on a bench, and in the dark it looked okay, but it was like that, frozen. I had overalls on and in a few seconds I realised, what's that? The ice had melted, soaked me, and then decided to start to freeze up again whilst attached to me. That was fun. It was only about -1 then though, not too bad. Oh, a woofer. He's wagging his tail though. It's a friendly woofer. Hello.
You won't get it.
We like dogs and cats, don't we? So they're safe. I wonder what those chip-ins are for. Is that for wildlife or? See, there's a tree being chopped there. In fact, there's quite a lot of trees being chopped. I think last time I come there was quite a lot with orange paint on them. So they must have been the ones that were getting geared up for the chop, so to speak. Nice peaceful area down here. Apart from the school holidays. It's not too bad at this time of year because it's bloody freezing, so the kiddies don't really want to come down here to play unless they're really keen, and the families from further afield don't particularly want to come to Wepre for a freeze. Though they still get a few of the keen ones turning up with the winter warmy clothes on. We're always lucky really as kids because even if you didn't have a lot of money or anything, you could always come to Wepre. You know, this place always was like a private private playground. When I was a kid, you know, you could just come down here and have a play in the woods, and squirrels would be running around, and there'd be all sorts of ducks and geese and swans up on the pond, and rhododendrons everywhere. It's just nice. If you're really privileged, you might see a badger or a fox, you know. Or usually a bum and tail running the other way. Up on the hill up there is the visitor centre. And that is roughly where the hall stood. I think that the visitor centre's cellars are the hall's cellars, because the cellars still exist of the hall underneath that visitor centre building. So I think the hall was a bit bigger than that, obviously, but that's roughly where it was. I did have family that lived in there for a short time because the council owned it as flats, and when my great uncle got married, he moved in there with his wife and kids for a short time, and they had a few tales to tell. Said they used to live in, basically they used to live there on the top of that mound, and they used to play down here. Look how far away the waterfall was, you know. So they used to play down here in the 50s, and they used to have tales of things that they saw in the woods. All right, they were little kids, so at the time, but even so, when they were older, my great uncle's kids, so my uncles, they great cousins, is it? I don't know. They had quite a few tales that they were sticking to, you know. I think one that they didn't stick to though was one of the kiddies run in and said that they seen a lion in the woods. I'm not sure about that. Unless it was something that looked like a lion. You never know. Big Ginger Tom. Nice, isn't it? See how peaceful it is as well. Even when I was a kid, you know, I used to come up here in the winter when it was this sort of weather, when it was cold and what have you. I'd be wrapped up well, you know. But it was nice, it was quiet, it was peaceful. It's nice for a little walk or what have you. And I used to work, I know I've said this tale before, but I used to work in a town nearby called Yulo. And I didn't drive at the time, so I used to walk back through these woods at night. And it was back in the days when, if you were lucky, you had a Nokia phone with a pull-out aerial. You know, it was back that sort of far back in time. I didn't have any mobile phones, so I just used to walk through the woods at night. I think I might have been lucky enough to have a little AA battery torch or something, you know. You know, one of those rubbish ones you get in the cheap shop. Not much better than a candle. But yeah, I used to walk through these woods, and I never ever had any fear or anything coming through here. And we're talking like 11 o'clock at night. Things like that. Pitch black. But, you know, it's got quite a nice atmosphere, this woods. Not frightening at all. Just nice. Maybe I was an elf in a previous life. There we go, we've got a big thing of foam down there. Okay, and then waterfall. Until recently, there was a metal device that was being installed at the bottom of the waterfall, just on the right-hand side. But that has been removed now. I think it was on a trial basis. It was, I think, to see if they could generate enough power using the waterfall to make enough electricity to run, or partly run, the visitor centre just up on the hill that we just passed. I think that was the idea. I'm not sure how successful it was, and I think that it was only a temporary measure. People were up in arms about it because they said it was ugly and it was ruining the look of the waterfall, but it was quite a good idea. I think that the look of the device needed improving if it was going to be a permanent feature, but obviously it wasn't a permanent feature, it's been taken away. But if the trial was successful and they do put something back here, just make it a little bit prettier maybe, and people will be more accepting then, I suppose. It's only returning to what was here originally, because back in the days when the Freem family owned the hall up there, they had some form of electricity generator down here then, because there were the remains of it back in the 70s and 80s, definitely. I mean, there may have been some bits left in the 90s, but there were bits and pieces of whatever the heck they'd been using just down on this side of the waterfall. I'm not certain, but it may have been the case that this was actually put here in the first place to generate electricity for the hall. that's why the waterfall may have been built. Don't quote me, but that's a possibility. Nice though, isn't it? I'm not sure how much daylight we're going to have left. We did leave the house quite late. I'm not quite sure what time it is either, to be perfectly honest. Put that glove back on. I might actually stick one on this other hand now. Camera looks like it's going to behave, he says. So I might stick my other glove back on now. Warm up a bit. There we go. Got two gloved hands now. Smashing. Anne-Marie's getting a picture or possibly a TikTok. She likes TikTok. I normally climb up here and then go straight forward and up the bank, but they put this wooden thing in. I think to help people who struggle with steps and what have you. Right, while we wait for Anne-Marie, I'll give this a pause, save some battery for when we set off again. Okay. Going to set off again. I might need to do some kind of calibration. I know when I got the DJI Pocket 2, I had to stick it every now and then on the table and do a self-calibration. Because when I turn this on, it's usually pointing in the sky and I have to bring it down. Are we going on the lower level, yeah? No, that's fine. No, it's okay. We haven't been on the lower level for a while, have we? That's the path that leads up to the visitor centre. I've done a few videos down here, so you can always refer to them. That's the other side of the waterfall. A bit calmer this side, isn't it? I don't know if this walkway was put in to help people get around easier, or if it was put in to protect little ponds like this and what have you that were getting stomped through. I mean, you still get the dogs going down there. There's plenty of paw prints in that mud. But I suppose this keeps the humans to a particular path. You see what I meant earlier about the orange stuff. That one's got a dot, that one's got a H, that one's got a J. I don't know what it all means. See? Oh, here we go. GHJKL. It's just following the letters of the alphabet. We've got an MNOP somewhere, probably. I guess that's so they know if they've missed one. If they go from J to L, they know K's got missed. Makes sense. I wonder why they cut them down. Must have some kind of disease or something, mustn't they? Must be some reason for it. Or just thinning out the place a little bit, perhaps. I mean, there might be some people who discover this video. Discover being the word, because I don't particularly advertise. I don't advertise the channel or anything, so they'd have to be rooting to find it. But some of the people who find this may have lived here many years ago and moved away. There's quite a few people on the likes of Facebook and what have you. They've gone to live in places like Australia and other countries. So it might be nice to have a look at how Wepre's doing. To be honest, it's doing alright, guys. It's doing alright. Bit of ice on the water there. This is the still stuff, see, so this will freeze up quicker. Yeah, the park rangers are doing a good job at trying to keep the place in good fettle. I don't think there's a great deal of them, but I don't know if there is in general when it comes to rangers and that, you know. I think you have like one ranger that covers quite a large area, or a small team that covers a large area, you know. I don't think there's that many of them, so fair play to them, because they're doing alright, like. Though, to be fair, the woods was doing alright by itself at one point. It's lasted well, hasn't it? I'm sure it's enjoying being treated kindly by the staff then. He's found a fast moving bit. Moving quickly there, isn't it? Slippy, oh dear. I'll go and have a look, but I'll be careful. It's slippy, it's slippy. Getting a little dark now, so you might not be able to tell, but it's a great place for photos down here. I was going to come down here and just do photos, but I thought because we're coming for a little walk and we haven't done any videos for ages and ages and ages, I thought, oh stuff it, do you know what, I'll just fetch out the Pocket 3, take it out for its second outing pretty much, and just get a little bit of footage instead. Stick it up on YouTube before people think it's just been abandoned because we've been away for so long. Nice flat area here. Still birds singing and tweeting in the trees. See a few fluttering about. Must be cold for them this time of year. I've got 3 bags of mealworms at home. I get seeds and things and peanuts and all that sort of stuff and fat balls, and the birds are just like, nah. Mealworms, yum. They're gone in about 30 seconds. So I know that they like them. I'm going to get them put out shortly because it is starting to freeze up now, so they're going to struggle more to find grub this time of year. I'll stick out some fat balls as well, just in case. You never know. It might give them a nibble. We're going uphill at the moment. You can never really tell on video, I don't think, but we're going up an incline. I think we're going to be meeting up with the top path in a sec. Now I don't know if Amory wants to carry on a bit further. It will get pretty dark quite soon now. I don't know if you can see, but to be fair, the Pocket 3 probably makes it look lighter than it actually is. It's starting to fall now, the sun. The light is starting to fade. I have got a bright light with me just in case. Do you want to carry on further, love? Do you want to carry on further? How do you feel? Or do you want to go back?
You carry on, or you can go around the gardens.
Yeah, go around the gardens then. That's heading back, isn't it? We've been up.
Gardens are up there, aren't they?
Yeah. It's going to get dark soon anyway. Hang on, I'll just pause this for a sec. Okay. There's a jogger just coming up then. Fair play to him. Mind you, he's probably warmer than us. These are some that have been cut previously, look, the trees. Don't think it was that long ago by the look of the remains of the tree. I suppose they've got to watch because of trees falling on people, branches falling on people and what have you. With it being a woods that's now sort of looked after by the local authority, I guess that they're liable if anything falls on someone's head, so to speak, you know. I guess that wouldn't be great. I don't think I'd fancy one of these falling on my head. Yeah, the Pocket 2 really does make it look, Pocket 3 even, really does make it look brighter than it actually is. It does quite well in low light, this thing, you know. I was quite impressed with it. I used to love the old DJI Pocket 2, but this one's definitely an upgrade. The size of these trees, I mean, I don't think it does it justice. They're quite high, those things, you know. They are quite high. There were a few trees that were brought over here by the Freem family and planted back in the 1800s, 1700s, 1800s. But sadly, in more recent times, some of them have come down. There were monkey puzzle trees, which weren't native to this forest and this area, but they were put in by the Freem family for, I don't know, for decoration, I suppose, part of their decorations for the mansion. There may be one or two remaining, I'm not sure, or the one or two remaining may have been the ones that fell, that I recall. I think there were more in the past, but they've come down. They were quite big. I think it was Storm Arwen, I think, killed the most recent one or two of them. But they were massive again, you know, huge things. I think there maybe one left. I'll have to have a look now, see what I can see. There's an unusual looking thing there now that someone's planted. Looks like a spiky tree. Well, if it's still there, it hasn't been vandalised or something. That's one of the sad things. You do get a lot of vandalism now. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was vandalism when I was a kid. There was a big slide here that was famously set alight back in the 80s by hooligans, but I don't know, it just seems to be more of a growing thing these days. I don't know if it's like a worldwide thing or if it's just a UK thing, but crime and vandalism, etc., just seems to be on the rise. This used to be a little quiet town. Sometimes I think it's like New York in the late 70s now. Well, New York's made a comeback, hasn't it? So maybe this place will. Yeah, the light's definitely leaving us. In the winter, the light does go quite quickly. If you can see behind, the birds flying over. I think most of the geese have cleared off now. Over the last couple of months we've heard them honking and flying off to wherever they go. Is it this way we're going, yeah?
Yeah. Basically, when we were getting down here,
There was somewhere here had a really old gate post, and I mean, it must have been about 50 years old. I don't know if it was there where that little one is now, the fancy new looking thing. It may have been. It was around for an awfully long time though. It's just like a tatty old gate post. The things you notice, eh, when you're a kid. Coming up to the pond. I think this is another one that fell to vandalism, isn't it? Wasn't this one? Is this the one that had the little fountain that was destroyed, or was this the one that had a statue that was destroyed? There was something about this one. It's starting to freeze up. You can see that. This is the small pond. There is a larger pond. I've done a couple of videos up at the larger pond. When Anne-Marie was poorly, I went up there and took some cereal and bits and bobs for the ducks that were left there. I think the squirrels licked a bit as well. The sundial there. And then the animal graveyard. These are the graves of the pets of the Freem family who lived in the hall. I think the graves have been moved now. I don't think they were originally here. But these are the graves. I think it'll be a bit too dark to see them now. I don't know. Mind you, this thing does surprise you. Vic had a fit, died quick. Born November 18th, 1884, died June 1885. Didn't last long, Vic, did he? Even I can't read that. Memories of Elizabeth Pauser, 1891. Rags, gentle and true, poisoned through, I think it says. Love me, love my dog. Died January 11th, 1900, age 5. I've got Morgan, aged 3. Killed, 1889. Slow mover, run over. Are these comedy gravestones or what? I just... Rector, aged 4 years, shot. 8 without stint. Lamb without mint. 31st of March 1890. I'm guessing that Rector was shot because he was eating lambs. I suppose with the pets' graves, it could have a bit more of a chuckle. Got some laurels here. Have we got a monkey puzzle tree? Would I be able to see in this flipping dark? I don't know. Here we are, we're coming down now to where the hall was. This is pretty much where the hall stood. And I think, if it's still here, there's a little diagram of where it once was. That fountain in the middle there that never spouts any water, that is a replica of the fountain that originally was here when the Freem family had the hall. And what they did, they took it from that spot there and wisely moved it down to the park that is down. It was the, oh dear, was it the Centenary Gardens or something? I think it was the Queen Victoria Gardens, or so it was something along those lines anyway that they'd built down there. And when they moved it down there, it was very quickly vandalised and smashed to pieces, which is a shame. So I got my clodhoppers on. I'm trying not to break my neck on the ice. Yeah, we've got a monkey puzzle tree. There we go. Look at that, I've been yapping about one all the way down, and there it is. So there is one. There was another, and that one's been ripped down, but before it gets pitch black and you can't see, let's have a look at where the hole would have been, because it would have been here. There we go. Where we are stood now is what we should see in front of us. See that round garden there with the fountain in the middle? Don't know if I get a bit closer. See that fountain? See the hall? That's Wepre Hall, and that is where it should be. There's the fountain, and there's the, well, there should be the hall. When I was talking about that funny spiky plant that they've planted, tree or whatever it is, it's this thing here. I don't know what the heck it is. It's a spiky looking thing. And I hope it gets a chance to grow. Looks like someone's already been hacking at it, which is a damn shame. But yeah, there it is. No idea what it is. It looks spiky. Does it feel spiky? Oh yeah, that's spiky. That spikes you through the gloves. They probably picked that deliberately because they know that something like a monkey puzzle tree would have pretty much no chance these days here, because the vandals would get to it and rip it down. Yeah, the lights are starting to come on now. Smash in. It was a nice little walk. Head back down to the car park. Yeah, I'm pleased there's a monkey puzzle tree remaining. I think that might be the last one now. Don't know for sure, but it might be. Is that the remains of the other one? Could be, you know, could be. I can't remember which side it was on, but it was collapsed and it was lying right across this wall. I think it was where that was, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that was thanks to one of the storms. I think it was Storm Arwen, I'm not 100%. This isn't the gate post I was on about, but this gate post has been here for a long time as well. See, just down there. I'm amazed when I'm looking through this viewfinder here. That is a heck of a lot brighter than what I'm looking at. That is seriously good low light performance from this camera. But yeah, if you want a nice, peaceful, quiet walk in Wepre, come midweek in the winter, because it's lovely. If you come here in July on a Saturday at lunchtime, it'll be hell on earth. Just to let you know. It'll be thick with people all the way along here, all the way down there, screaming in all directions. But this time of year, it's when those locals can appreciate the place, because there's no one here. And it is a lovely place. It's so nice. Yeah, some tweeting going on still. I don't profess to know what that is, but there's a bird tweeting somewhere. There you go, he's telling me off. light reflects off the branches and off the tree trunks. In some ways it would be nice if these lights went all the way through down to the castle, but the cost involved in that would be astronomical, and then the upkeep and the vandalism prevention would probably be very difficult as well. There's a bird on top of the bin over there, a crow or something. There he goes. And a midnight snack. Well, the 4 o'clock snack or whatever it is. What time is it, love? Is it about 5? 4? Half 4?
Half 4, yeah.
What a guess.
There's
That's
a
off
bus
the old
over there.
gateposts. Sorry?
There's a bus over there.
There's a bus over there.
Yeah.
All right.
And it stopped.
Yeah?
Watch now and it goes past.
I can't see where you're looking, sorry. Oh, there. Oh, yeah, yeah, there is a bus. Small one.
Maybe it's a country bus.
Yeah. We were just discussing earlier that we didn't think buses went this way anymore. But maybe, but there is a bus there.
For the workers. You know, like a taxi but a bus.
Yeah.
Or the industrial one.
It's too cold for the kids. Even the playground shut. Well, actually, I think it even is shut. I think there's oh, what do you call them? Chains around the door to get in there. I don't know if that's normally like that, but can you? Oh, there is a way in. That must just be for the vehicles to go into clean, then, is it? And he's going to demonstrate a route. Oh yeah, so you can. Sometimes at this time of night, when it's just starting to go dark, there is a fox that lives here somewhere, and I see him running around, so he might be having a sniff around shortly, especially if someone's put anything good in the bin. Mackies or something, you know. Oh yeah, there's a little kiddie coming into play now with his mum. Goodness me. Bit too late. Well, it's only 4:30 to be fair, but it's a bit too dark really. And cold. Amory's having fun. Yeah, just keeping an eye out just in case fantastic Mr. Fox makes a showing. Last few times I've been here, he's popped his head up, but might be a little bit too early yet. He might not fancy his chances. Plus there might not be much tasty left, or what is left is a bit too cold. Oh, hey up. He's most displeased. Flying off, chattering away. I don't think they'll have nests this time of year, will they? I think that's going to be something for March, April sort of time. That's too dark for me to see over on that field, but can you lot see anything? Anything over there? Any foxes or anything? I can't see anything there. It's just black virtually for me, that place. I can see a bit of green still, but it is pretty dark. This is the skate park they put in for the kids. Hello? There's what, sorry? I think she's saying there's a gym here. Did you say there's a gym? Keep fit. One for the dads, look. One for the dads. It's alright, isn't it? Light plane flying up. That's one of those with things on the bottom to land in the water. Right, I'm going to carry on round, love. I wonder why there's flowers on there. Did someone pass away that was in the skateboard or youth community or something? It's awful, isn't it? Because there's so many stabbings and things going on these days. You never really know. Used to be like Major League News at one point. If a child got stabbed, it'd be in all of the papers. Now it's just like, you know, how many got killed today. It's awful how the world's going. I'm glad I turned up when I did and be clearing off when I do. I don't think I'd be wanting to be here in another 60, 70 years or whatever and seeing what it's like then. But it's a pleasant little place, this, isn't it? Not to drop the mood. It is a nice little place. We've got football pitches on both sides here. I've seen boys and girls playing football here. In teams, you know, so I think there must be a women's team that plays up here too. Parking is currently free, but if it's June, July, August, don't bother. You'll have no chance, or just get here at 8 AM or something, because it'll be heaving. But if it's nice and cold, like now, and it's getting towards later in the day, then, as you can see, there's no one here. It's just silent, really quiet and peaceful. Definitely a nice place to visit. Now Anne-Marie will be coming out of the kiddies play area up that way, and the exit to the park is down there. But that road there that's going up and down, if you look on old photographs of this area, you'll see like a carriageway sort of there that leads from the lodge along that road there and then sort of curves in to the park, because Wepre Drive and all this down there, all these houses and this estate and everything weren't here, all down towards the police station and what have you. they all come much later. I mean, a lot of these are 50s and 60s houses, you can see. But yeah, pleasant place to visit. I do love how the light shines off the trees. I like light. I like good light. I think it looks nice. That's quite peaceful. That I could look at a scene like that and nod off in my armchair with a cup of tea. Hopefully drunk, not all over me. And across the way there, the lantern sort of stuck in the middle of the trees. Just gives off a nice glow. All this, there'll be the 5 o'clock finishers coming home, so the roads will be busy now for a short while. I'm going to go home, put this on the computer, and maybe go for a little walk in Shotton, depending on how Anne-Marie's feeling, because I don't want to push her too much. If we can get her walking a little bit more, it'll be good for her. She's done pretty well today, to be fair to her. So yeah, let's see how we get on. Anyway, I'll stick this on the computer. I'll get it uploaded to YouTube. Cut out any crappy bits, and I may even manage to get one done in Shotton, but I don't know when I'll get these uploaded. But today is the 30th of November, so see how we get on, eh? Right, let's go home. And I'll see you guys soon, yeah? Take it easy, folks.